Bricks and Brickley here, and welcome back to another episode of Middle-earth MOCs, episode 12 already. And in this series, we take a look at MOCs from all over Middle-earth, concerning the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. And if you want to submit your own LEGO The Lord of the Rings MOC, just go ahead and send me some pictures of your build to brickleyofficial@gmail.com, and then I'll maybe even be able to showcase your MOC in a future episode. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this video. So the first MOC we're going to take a look at is actually made by Dylan Lane. This is Baggins, his second version, and I'm really excited to take a look at this MOC. As you can see, there's a high level of detail, and besides, of course, there's a lot of small details as well. So definitely great. I love the overall shape of this MOC, and let's go ahead and zoom in. Of course, we get that little wall piece over there in the front. We get a pathway leading up to the gate of Baggins, as well as, of course, the chariot on top of that pathway. I love the luggage in the back of the chariot. That definitely looks great. Of course, we get a lot of greenery within the garden of Bilbo Baggins. As you can see, we get those nice plant pieces on the left, as well as, of course, lots of leaf pieces actually over there on the far right. So that also is a nice detail added to this MOC. Now, if you take a look at the entire build, you can see a couple of techniques being used. Actually, the entirety of Baggins is actually a sort of round structure, and that is actually made possible by the snot techniques used within this MOC. Of course, you can see it starting all the way in the front and moving all the way up to, of course, the roof of Baggins. We can see lots of those snot techniques with those wedge plates and wedge pieces, and of course lots of slopes and everything added to the sides of the build. That definitely looks amazing. I really love snot techniques. Moreover, you can see actually the original Lego door of course, the Hobbit hole, and of course the windows and such. Those are all original techniques from the set back in 2012. The window on the left is also a sort of partially original design from the set, with a lot of own designs around it. So I definitely think that looks great. So overall, an amazing MOC. Of course, we get the bench in front of Baggins, as well as, of course, the gate over there, which also looks quite nice. I love the wall in front of Baggins, which actually has a sort of stone look. I do think that looks quite nice. So overall, I really like the front of Baggins. Of course, we get a tree on top as well, which is also just a magnificent build. I'm just astonished by the scale of this tree and, of course, all of the detail inside. I mean, we get so many leaf pieces in there. And then, of course, finally, there's this chimney over there on the left. And surprisingly, there's actually an interior to this Baggins MOC, which you don't really see that often with these type of MOCs. But I'm truly happy to say that we can finally take a look at this interior right here. And it's also quite accurate. We get the window next to the door, which I do believe that Bilbo will look through to see if Gandalf is still there. Then, of course, we get that awesome sort of a chandelier with the candles and such. That also looks great. Actually, that is going to portray the scene where Gandalf is going to bump his head. So that's also quite nice. We get a lot of detailing in there within the hallway. A sort of carpet, I believe, or something like that within the middle. That also looks quite good. And then the room on the right is, I do believe, Bilbo's writing area with a candle, a lot of maps and such. And all of the walls are actually dark tan, but they're supported by this wooden structure, which also looks quite nice to me. So definitely a big fan of this entire interior. And then finally, of course, there's the wine cellar underneath Baggins, which is also an amazing detail added. I do love that. And you can also take a closer look at the snot techniques on the back right here. I love the integration of the dark green with the light green. You don't really see that frequently within MOCs, so definitely a big fan of that. Of course, we get some greenery everywhere, and this entire MOC is actually placed on top of this sort of black structure made up of all of those pieces. That's definitely a clever way of course, making that round structure. But overall, I'm a big fan of this MOC by Dylan Lane. And next up, we actually got a MOC from The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smog, by Duncan Lindbow. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. We got this scene, "I can smell you, thief." even if I can't see you. That's an amazing scene right here. Of course, we get Bilbo Baggins, strangely enough, with the hair of Frodo Baggins, as well as, of course, his head. But I'm not really going to complain about that. We get those moving legs, actually, the short moving legs, as well as, of course, lots of detailing over here in the front. We get some nice arches, as you can see over there, with a lot of those actually inverted slopes. That's also quite a nice technique. I love the fact that you can see a burning torch on the right and one that's actually not really burning anymore on the left. That also looks great. We get a couple of bones and a skull, actually, and the floor is also really detailed with a sort of pattern going on. That definitely looks amazing. And then in the back, there's Smog, and he just looks stunning. I mean, take a look at this. We got the nice details over there. We get his nose over there on the right. And then the eye of Smog also looks great. You can see the orange, the yellow, and of course that yellow eye is actually made with a lever technique, actually. So you can actually remove the lever from that sort of piece, and then you can actually have a sort of open hole, which is supposed to simulate the eye. So definitely a great technique for that. Of course, we get some gold over there in the back as well. And I also love the addition of those decorated brick pieces. So overall, this MOC looks really great. So lots of compliments to you, Duncan. And of course, if any of these MOCs are your favorite, let me know in the comment section down below. Next up, we got a MOC by Carter Witz. And this is Boromir's Last Stand. Now, this MOC also looks really cool. I love all the detailing going on within this MOC. We get so many different techniques used within this MOC. Of course, we get the dark green, which in my opinion is a big plus for this MOC. I definitely love it when MOC builders use dark green. You don't really see that very often within MOC building, so definitely a big fan of that. Of course, we get a Boromir defending the hobbits right there, and of course the hobbits actually have the same cloaks. That's quite accurate to the movie. We get a couple of Uruk-hai running towards Boromir. He's actually defending the hobbits. And then, of course, we get Lurtz standing in front of that arch piece, and the arch piece also looks quite great. I love the design for Lurtz. Of course, he has that sort of longer hairpiece instead of the original LEGO Uruk-hai hairpiece. That also is quite a nice technique. And then the trees are also nicely detailed. I love the fact that the trees are actually those bendable stick pieces, actually. Those are also quite nice to use. We get some leaf pieces, and the branches of the trees are actually made up of Lego hands. That's also quite a nice technique. And in addition to all of those techniques, we also get some snot techniques and such. So I really like the overall design for this MOC. Of course, we also get a couple of those olive green bushes that also looks quite nice in my opinion. So overall, I really love this MOC, not only for, of course, all of the details, but also for the scene, because it's just amazing. So we're going to go and move on to another MOC, which is actually a teeny tiny MOC. I mean, take a look at this. We got a MOC by Hubba Bluba, and this is definitely amazing. As you can see, we got the Helm's Deep micro build, and oh boy, this is definitely amazing. Of course, you can see that we got a huge Uruk-hai army, and these are actually the antennae pieces. You can see the antenna pieces, definitely amazing. I love the detailing with that. I mean, it's a clever technique to design an Uruk-hai army within this micro scale, because you're not going to be able to use any other pieces. But the Hornburg looks great. I love the main gate. Of course, we get the sort of awesome round walls, actually, which are designed in quite a strange way. As you can see, we get those decorated brick pieces, and those actually make up the entire wall. That's really something weird to consider, because those pieces were actually frequently used within the original LEGO Helm's Deep set. Of course, we get the fortress over there in the back, as well as, of course, the tower with that sort of engine piece on top. That's also quite a nice technique, and the longer deeping wall as well. And then all the way in the back, we can see some rock work, which also looks great. I do believe that one of those dark bluish gray pieces is actually in the old gray pieces color, but definitely looks great. I mean, I love mixture of brick colors within MOC, so that definitely is an amazing detail. And then also just the night sky, also really an epic detail. I love all the details within this MOC. So overall, a great MOC. Really a lot of compliments to you, Hubba Baluba. And then here's actually a MOC by Slim Brick 1, and this is Mount Doom. Now this MOC is truly epic. As you can see, we got some lava going on over there in the bottom. We got some orange, some yellow, black, and dark red. I really love this technique. And of course, we get the bridge right there on top, actually, with lots of detailing actually on the sides, as well as of course on the top with a couple of snot techniques. We get some tiles on the sides. You can also set up Frodo or maybe even Isildur with the One Ring of Power, taking it for themselves. That's clearly one of the scenes you should be able to set up within this MOC. Of course, we get the Gate of Mount Doom over there in the back, and it really reminds me of Darth Vader's castle. I don't know why. It just looks similar, so definitely a great build. I also love the fact that this MOC is quite large. I mean, you don't really see a lot of Mount Doom MOCs out there, and I really like taking a look at this scene. Of course, you can also see some rock work over there on the right, and then there's of course someone's arm over there in the lava. But yeah, who knows who that is? I definitely do. So let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think is in the lava? I know, and all of the Lord of the Rings fans out there also know who I mean. Then of course we get the staircase leading up to the entrance of the Mount Doom gate over there, as you can see. And it's actually quite hazardous because there's some rock work in, of course, the middle of the staircase. So that also looks great, but it's going to be quite hard for some minifigures to climb up. So this definitely reminds me of the LEGO The Lord of the Rings video game, where you actually had to climb up all the way to Mount Doom within those levels. Definitely great. And then actually all around this MOC, you can see the One Ring of Power on top of those jumper plates. That's also a nice detail added to this MOC. So overall, a great MOC, and really just big thumbs up to you, Slim Brick 1. We're actually going to take a look at some custom MOC submissions you sent me. So these are all from you, the subscribers of Brickley, from the community. So you can actually send me your own LEGO The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit MOCs, and the Gmail is also on the screen right now. So just go ahead and do that if you want your MOC to have a showcase within a future episode. And let's go ahead and take a look at the first MOC made by Raul. Now I actually really wanted to take a look at this MOC for a while now. Actually, he sent me this on April the 3rd. As you can see, there's lots of detailing going on here. This is actually Hobbiton, his Hobbiton MOC, and it looks phenomenal. I mean, you can see lots of detailing. We get the pathway over there leading to the Hobbit house over here on the bottom. I do believe this is Sam's Hobbit hole. I'm not sure, but it definitely looks like that. You can see lots of detailing. We get a little bit of a river going on there with a frog, and of course the door is also red. Definitely looks great. We get Gandalf with his horse near the tree right over there on the far left, and Frodo is actually also reading his book right there. That's quite a nice scene portrayed within this MOC. Then finally, actually, we get this Bag End MOC with Frodo and Sam leaving for, of course, their journey to destroy the ring. We get the Bag End MOC right over there in the back with some snot techniques, and it's just a phenomenal design for this MOC. So overall, really looks great. I also love the fact that he actually included this scene from, of course, The Hobbit, The Unexpected Journey, actually, with Bilbo and, of course, Gandalf saying good morning to each other. And then on the far left, of course, we get Samwise Gamgee, and he's just gardening, of course. That's his day job within Hobbiton. So overall, really a great MOC, and thank you so much, Raul, for sending this in. And of course, thank you so much for your patience, because you had to wait a while for this showcase. Then next up, we got a MOC by Spartan Bricks. Now, this is actually the Mines of Moria MOC. He has a video on this, so just go ahead and watch it. Of course, it's just an amazing MOC, but he actually portrayed 3 scenes within this MOC. First of all, you can see the moon doors of Moria. Now, there's a lot of rock work going on over here. As you can see, we got the entirety of the rock work with some of the dark green on top. That's really a nice detail. I love the 2 trees over there. As you can see, there's also this big lake. That definitely is an amazing addition. And then, of course, more importantly, there are the moon doors. And those are also really nicely detailed. I love the moon doors. I like the overall shape of it. And, of course, there's also a lot of light bluish gray in front of the moon doors. So, overall, really a great MOC. And I'm just so astonished by the moon doors. I mean, I never thought that someone would combine these 3 locations within one Mines of Moria MOC, so definitely great. And of course we get the big hallway with all of those pillars, actually, with a couple of goblins and of course Moria orcs running towards Balin's tomb. Definitely looks great. I love the level of detailing. It's just a simple hallway with of course those pillars, a couple of those tiles on the ground. So overall, really a great design for those pillars. I love the shape. Of course we get the slopes on the sides and such, and I definitely want to create something like that on my own in the future as well. And then here's actually Balin's tomb with lots of detailing. As you can see, we get the grave of Balin in the middle, which also looks great. And there's actually the scene with all of the orcs laying dead within the tomb, and you can actually take a closer look at all of the details. So we get 4 pillars within this room, 2 staircases actually on either side, and I also love the elevated floor over there on both sides. That also looks really cool, and you can actually also see lots of tiles on the ground and also really a high level of detailing. So overall, I'm really a big fan of this MOC, and I can't wait to see you add Bridge of Khazad-dûm Spartan Bricks. That's definitely a must-have within this MOC. So overall, really a great MOC, but just go ahead and add that Bridge of Khazad-dûm. Definitely would finish this MOC, but so far your MOC is really looking amazing. One of the best LEGO MOC submissions I've had so far. So go ahead and subscribe to Spartan Bricks, everyone. Really an epic MOC. And next up, we actually get a Mumakil MOC sent in by, let me see here, we get Cyanicus Rex. Yeah, Cyanicus Rex. Definitely an amazing MOC. Thank you so much for sending this in. This is the Mumakil, and oh boy, this MOC looks great. As you can see, we get the big olive font with lots of detailing on the legs. I love the overall technique he used to design these legs. I mean, they are movable, and that definitely is a must-have within a Mumakil build. Of course, we get the entire sort of movable outpost on the back of the Mumakil right there with lots of detailing. I love the structure you created with those bendable sort of pillar pieces. Actually, those look great. We get 3 floors, actually, the top floor with the archer. We get the driver over there in the front, and I'm definitely curious to know how you actually designed all of these minifigures. So do let me know in the comment section down below which pieces you actually used for those figures. Definitely a great MOC. Of course, we get the army of the Rohirrim actually attacking the Mumakil. And then the head of the Mumakil also looks great. I mean, I love those awesome horns, and of course the tusks actually of the elephant. And of course we get some detailing with the spikes, and of course the chain in between those tusks. That definitely looks amazing. The ears are also added to this Mumakil build. So overall, really a great MOC, and thank you so much for submitting these MOCs, everyone. And if you haven't submitted your own LEGO Lord of the Rings MOC, just go ahead and do so by sending me an email. And yeah, those were all of the MOCs we were going to take a look at within this episode of Middle-earth MOCs. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Of course, let me know in the comment section down below which of these MOCs is your favorite. If you did enjoy watching this video, of course, go ahead and leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Brickley for more epic LEGO content. And I will see you all in the next video on my YouTube channel, Brickley.
It's in the air like a blazing flare.